correctly?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So, structurally, everything with the house is in good shape. No underlying issues with the foundation. No super glue or duct tape holding anything together. So that's good. I think I told you that joke last time. It's my lame dad joke.
No.
Then as well, so the first thing we'll talk about is the roof. So the roof, I'm going to zoom in on it so it's a little easier to see on the recording. There we go. So the roof is going to be a sealed polyurethane foam roof. And then there's a tile section over the vaulted ceiling in the living room.
Sure.
But it's a very small section of roof, so it's more aesthetic than anything, but it does keep some water out of that area. Nevertheless, I walked around. I looked for any puncture holes, any staining, as well as any like cracking or spalling that would cause like to show wear, things like that. And it is a bit aged, so these flat roofs have to be resealed every 5 to 7 years. So I would definitely, the roofer, he'll tell you for sure with an estimate like where we're at, but he's definitely going to call out some of these things. So so let me scroll down a little bit. There's a cracked mud ball in the tile section, which just needs to be resealed. They'll just chip this away and put a new mud ball on there. It's just cement.
What part of the house was that?
That was on the front right here.
Okay.
In this slope.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as well, so the flat sections, there's a lot of areas where it's starting to crack and deteriorate, and there's some areas that have already been deteriorating. So these are the areas where the water has been sitting on it the longest. So the water causes just shrink and crack, which again, it just needs to be resealed for sure. The roofer will also probably recommend that we fix, when they reseal it, to fix the slope so that way there isn't staining, which is caused by water for sitting too long on the home. So that's what all these are going to be, all these stains on the roof. So when they rebuild it or when they reseal it, they're going to add a little bit more, so there's more of a subtle slope, so it sheds water off instead of sitting on there, because that's what's going to cause this to happen more. And then here's what happens when it sits on there for too long. Where are you? Keep going. Did I pass it? Hold on. Right here. So it does this, so it creates what's called a blister. And that blisters, there's a pinhole, water gets underneath and swells, and then this one's actually already popped, so water's just going to get through there all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so ironically, there's no water that's shown itself yet on the ceiling, but it's just a matter of time. So definitely just due for some new sealant and new coating. There's a tree in the front that just sheds a lot all year round, so it's just a lot of leaf debris. And as well, the gutters need to be cleaned out because they're holding a lot of leaf debris as well. So that's that there. And then there's one solitary roof leak at the eave, and it's actually on this outside the kitchen window, so on this right rear side of the house.
Okay.
But that's the roof in its entirety. Otherwise, it's just aged. That's all. So it's just it just needs a little love. All right.
Maintenance.
Now, yeah, exactly. Just maintenance. Just regular maintenance. Now, heating and cooling, since there is no attic, since it's a flat roof. Now, 104 is for the heat. I got that to come out of every vent in the whole house, so the heat distributes everywhere it needs to go. Yep. So it is working. Chimney flue on the roof because you have a conventionally wood-burning fireplace. Spark arrestor up top. Everything looks good.
So what did you check on the fireplace? Because Emma was talking about like having a chimney sweep and stuff like that. Do you check? What do you check exactly?
So I open the damper and then I stick my head and my flashlight up there to look in there. It definitely has been used before, so I would recommend a chimney sweep. Okay. Especially because if it's being used, they obviously, Emily's the wife.
Emma.
Emma.
Yeah.
She, are they from like the East Coast or from like a?
Well, they're from everywhere, but right now they're in Oregon.
Oh, they're in Oregon. Okay, so they get this. So they use a furnace and stuff, or when they use the chimney, it builds with what's called creosote, and that creosote can be kind of harmful. So yeah, it's just good if it's been used, which it has been, to just have it cleared out. So yeah, I would definitely.
How often should a house get a chimney sweep or cleaned out by a professional that has a fireplace?
If it's being used a lot, then I would say every 2 years.
Really? Okay.
If it's being used like once every year, then I would say just at your discretion.
Sure.
But if it's being used regularly, every 2 years. And then as well, here's what the unit looks like on the roof. So it is a 2006 model 4-ton unit, 60 amp max. It's a split system, or it's a rooftop package heat pump. I'm sorry. So it does your heating and cooling from this unit up top. So it's all electric. So it's over 17 years old, so it's nearing the end of its life, or it's past the end of its life, I guess I should say. But not to say that it can't last longer. It's just annual maintenance at this point, just to keep it going. But it is working today, so everything is good there.
American stand.
Oh yeah, it's a train. Yeah,
it's a train. Trains don't die. I have I swear to God, it's a 30-year-old train and it won't die.
That's what I was saying. Just annual maintenance. Just springtime is going to be the main source of like when you need it the most because it gets hot here. So and that's when it's being used all the time. So I would just recommend in springtime have somebody come out, put it through some paces. Go with an honest company. Don't go with somebody like Parker and Sons because they're going to try and sell exactly.
God, I hate them.
Yeah, they're going to try and tell them it's broken, it's not going to work, and needs a new one. Just find an honest company. Like AC Doctors is who we recommend. They're pretty honest. They're going to tell you the truth. Like, yeah, they'll come and kick it around, and then they're going to tell you honestly, like, yeah, here's what's going on. Let's service it. Let's keep it going. They're not big on telling you that you need a new one unless you absolutely do. But
I went to high school with Don Lee.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
And then the other one, Chaz Roberts, at another high school. So, and I don't really like him. So, I don't know. I kind of just do Don Lee.
Yeah, keep with Don Lee. Yeah. I was, extend that info over to Gary and Emma. And then, have them come out and kick it around. It is running off old refrigerant, which is R22.
Sure.
So when they do update it, whenever that time does come, it'll just be more beneficial for them because it'll be more energy efficient. Yeah, that's all. And then right now, fuses are good. And then this is just talking about the R22 comment we already talked about. So, tested the heat, ran it for a while, got it nice and warm. And then I let it rest, and then I kicked it into cool mode so that way I can test the differential. So I'm looking to see between 18 and 24 degrees from what's going in and what's coming out. So 70 in, 48 to 51 out in every room. So 22 all the way down to 19 degrees, or 20 degrees, so all good.
Good.
That's 19 right there. But yeah, the 48 was in the master bedroom, just so you know. So their bedroom's going to get the coldest. Yeah, so just a heads up there, which is always a nice thing.
Yeah, I like to sleep better cold than hot.
Same here. The condensate drain line exits into that same gutter we were talking about earlier that's just filled with leaves.
Sure.
So once it's clean, it'll just you'll always see water eventually dripping from the dead end of the gutter. So that's just that.
Is there more than one end pipe, down pipe?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Front side, back side.
Okay.
And then as well, P-trap and vent on the roof, which is what we like to see. So everything is good there. Now let's walk around.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you some more stuff.
Okay.
Let me grab my flashlight. There you go. All right. Let's start in the garage.
Question. So when I filmed before,
yes,
they're like, "What is that thing in the laundry room?" I'm like, "What thing?" And I go, "This thing?
Yeah.
What is that?"
So that was an old loop that they had tied in for like a water softening system.
Okay, I said that. I'm like, it's a loop of some sort. Okay.
Yeah, they capped it off, and that's what this line is for. It was all capped off. And the water softeners up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything's just kind of shut off, capped off.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can always have a plumber come out and just cap things off and move them. And
that looks ancient, actually. So.
Yeah, it definitely is older for sure. But no signs of leaks or anything at the system, so it looks pretty good. But again, have a plumber come out and just run it through some paces, maybe update it, so that way there's probably more efficient models now than that.
Right.
And then as well, this cabinet is damaged, but it's just the hinges are not screwed in.
Yeah.
So it just needs to be secured, and then that'll be that. All right. Now the garage tested two safety features: lights at the bottom, break the beam, the doors stop and go back up. That one works.
Okay.
The second one I tested is called a down pressure switch. So as the door's coming down, if it means measure more resistance like the hood of a car, you should feel that tension and bounce back up. That one didn't work today because it just needs to be serviced. Okay. The company that installed it, they just didn't set it up with it for some reason. A lot of times that does happen though because the installer just goes, oh, the laser will go off if that ever happens, but yours in my car is higher than that. So if we're halfway in and the laser's under the undercarriage, then it's going to pin it. So definitely just needs to be
adjusted.
Yeah, adjusted to work correctly. That's all.
Okay.
And then, so that's everything here. I did want to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
So the garage and the exterior outlets are all GFCI protected, except for two we'll talk about later. But they all reset in the master bathroom, and that includes the garage door.
Okay.
So when I got here, there was no power to it, and I had to go search around and find it. I reset it, restored power, but just a heads up, they all reset in the master bathroom.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so just a heads up there.
Okay.
It's a really easy thing. It didn't trip like a nuisance trip or anything like that. It must have tripped because of somebody accidentally like set it off or tripped it in there somehow because they're really sensitive buttons.
Messing around with stuff probably.
Exactly, yeah. Because they're really sensitive buttons, and I'll show you. But I just want to give you a heads up. That way everybody knows.
What is this?
That's for that old pipe, that loop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's where it's going in. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's coming through the wall and out.
Well, that looks like newer pipe. So.
Yeah. So it goes through and then out to the exterior. Oh, that's for the TPR, for the temperature pressure relief valve for the water heater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hot water heater must be right inside there.
Oh yeah, I'll show you. It's in the closet behind the laundry room door. But yeah, when we go back in there, I'll show you that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what that one's for.
Okay.
All right, now let's head this way. I'm gonna show you the electrical panel, and then we'll circle back because we got to cut through here because the gate has a red bolt on it or a lock on it.
And we got some bird activity here.
Yeah, the tree just needs to be cut back for sure. It's just you can see it's encroaching on top of the the top of the roof.
I just got rid of a tree and it was the best thing I did. I lived in that house 18 years and I liked the shade. I just got rid of that sucker and I pull up still and I'm like, I'm so glad. Yeah.
It's nice because it provides some shade because this is west facing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're gonna keep the tree, we just need to get a landscaper to trim it back.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get rid of the tree, then just let's get the covers back on there so that way it's not getting beaten up.
Right.
The rooms aren't getting warmer because of the heat.
Yeah.
And then as well, this is a vacuum breaker for like a drip system. So here's the valve box for it. Here's the valve box for it. No signs of leaks or anything at the valve box. It's just a one valve system because it's just a low maintenance drip system. We don't test it or anything like that. We just verify that there's no leaks at the valve box and no excessive moisture in the soil. That way, if we're walking and we sink it down a little bit, there's a leak somewhere, and then we just recommend a landscaper. But I would just have a plumber come and fix this section because you see all this buildup. So there's some type of leak here at this connection. And then as well, right here is your hose bib. This is your main. So this handle right here, just like that, that shuts off all the water. So when your handle's like this, careful. When your handle's like this, all the water's off. When your handle's back upright, water's back onto the whole house. So in case of a flood or we're going out of town, pull that lever, all good. And then when we pull that lever, it turns everything off here, but you can keep this one on so that way the drip system will still work.
Hey,
exactly.
Good idea. Okay. Do you recommend, I've never heard that, do you recommend shutting off the main water when people go out of town?
Some people like to, just for that peace of mind so they don't come home
to a hot water heater. That's when it happens.
Exactly, there's been horror stories of people who are just like, only here 6 months out of the year. They come home and it's just water damage, flooded, and then it's been doing it for a while and it's just running. So just one thing I recommend. Either that or they can shut off the water heater at the panel and then just turn the valve off at the water heater, and that way water is not going to it and it's shut off, so it's not heating water, so it saves on electricity too. But either way, if they turn it off here and turn it off there, there's nothing running to anything. Because
isn't that a danger? Like, say you just shut this off, is there a danger with the hot water heater for
the water that stays in there? Because it's just holding water at that point.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
It's just one of those catch-22 things where, but I've seen it before where when winter visitors they turn it off there and they turn it off here. So that way it's just nothing, so it's like double protection. But there's lots of ways to do it, but that's what I would recommend for sure. That way, the last thing anybody wants is to come home to
just
that.
water damage, the mold, and
exactly. And then they're coming here to relax, and now they got to worry about that, so there's no relaxing. So these hinges just need to be tightened up because they're a little bit loose, so it falls off, so it starts to come off.
Okay.
So then you just got to pop it back in. So they just need to be bent back. Back in and tightened. Now, panel. Nice and neatly labeled, which is what we like to see. 200 amps of service to the home. Took the front panel off, looked at the bare breakers for any burns, scorches, modifications, or double taps. Didn't find any of the above. So it's all copper wiring, no double taps, no modifications. They added a couple new breakers because they added some stuff later on, which is good. RV, this is a 220 volt. So it does work. So there is power there. It's super cool. Yeah, check it out.
So what is that? Like if they drive an RV up right there, they can park. That's freaking cool.
So when they're like the Griswolds and have the brother-in-law over, but the only thing is he just can't put his radioactive waste down a sewer drain like on the movie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's no clean out or anything, but they'll be able to hook in, but that's all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little thing.
Yeah. Maybe
And then
they
as well,
have company.
Exactly. And then these are exterior outlets. These two 20s here. I would just get them labeled. I would verify which ones go to which area, like, you know, label east side outlet, north side outlet, whatever it may be. But just verify it so that way you know exactly which is which, in case there's any need to turn them off or something. All right. And this is part of the drip system. Okay. It's a fancy little system, so I'm not sure how it works exactly, but it's just a fancy little thing. Wow. Yeah, it looks new. Yeah, definitely newer. If anything, I'll just get a landscaper and they know how to do all that in their fleet. All right. Yeah, leaf debris, which of course. Yeah. See, it's just annoying to me to have a bunch of debris and. Right. Just a lot of maintenance because of the trees with their planters. So just make sure we monitor how much they're getting watered, especially since it's this side of the wall is going to be in the garage. So if they're getting overly watered, you're going to start seeing water wick into the stem wall here and then into the other side. Same thing here, since this is a bedroom, you'll eventually see it wick in. There's just so much stuff that needs to be ripped out, to be honest. Yeah, like, you know, as these, I don't know if this is a pygmy palm, but as it gets bigger, it's going to start rubbing against the stucco, and it's going to damage the stucco. It's going to push against this, which, you know, there's no weathering at the top yet, but that's the other thing I wanted to talk about is getting some cat flashing is what it's called on top of these 2x4s, so that way they don't get weathered and beaten up by the sun, the rain, stuff like that. So just over time. Sure. All right. Okay. As well, outlet there, GFCI protected, or it's tied to that same one we were talking about in the master bathroom. Okay. And then another hose bib. Hose bib's in good shape, so nothing going on there. All right. And we're gonna cut through here to the backyard. Okay. I don't have a key for that gate. Doorbell. Oh goodness. You have one here and at the front. Oh wow. Yeah. That's weird to have one right there. Like who's gonna come through your garage? Right. Okay. All right. And then we'll start here and pull back this way. All right. So running back this way, there's the gate. Hose bib's in good shape. No drip leaks. It does work. I was talking about earlier that all the outlets except for 2 are GFCI protected. This one here is not, so eventually I would just have an electrician change this outlet to a GFCI outlet, so it just trips itself. And then this one here, so they must have had a jacuzzi or something. They did, yeah. So this outlet's just not protected. So again, I would just update it to a GFCI outlet, so it just trips and resets itself. Sure. All right, now I got this fan to work. Okay. It runs off of this switch here. Okay. So there's a switch here. It's this bottom one. Sure. And then the lights just flicker. I don't know if that means that the bulbs are dead or dying or you see them flickering. Sure. So they're trying to come on, but they're not kicking. Yeah. So it's kind of a funky bulb. Maybe they don't last long. Maybe they're fancy. Exactly. Yeah. And if they were on for too long and then heated up and you know, so whatever. But definitely just try changing the bulb first. See if that fixes them. You know, maybe they're just dying. But the other thing is the remote needs to be programmed because I couldn't actually use the rear patio remote to turn these two on. So I could only get this one on from the switch. Okay. I can't actually get that one on. Okay. So just a heads up, that's all. Sure. Rear patio is in good shape. Trellis cover is in good shape as well. No signs of any issues there. Columns are touching the ground, but I'm not going to make a comment about it because they're covered in this aluminum cladding. So they're not going to be exposed to the rain, so they won't get deteriorated. So that's just a covering over wood? Yeah. Oh, yeah, so there's a wood post here. In each one of them, this is where the wood post is. All right. And it's surrounded in an aluminum cladding. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I said that's not even wood when I touched it the other day. Okay. Yeah, this part, it's just the aluminum cladding, and then the wood column is right here in the middle. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a really nice little thing. Yeah, it is. I like that. You can sit out here, and it's not going to get... you're not going to see like wood rot and stuff. Sure. And as well, this outlet is GFCI protected. Again, it resets right here. So right to the right side of the hose bib. Okay. There's a GFCI outlet. So that one is the reset for this one here. And then the one right here on the wall. Okay. So they added those. So remember I was saying those 2 breakers in the panel or for the outside? Those are the ones they added. Okay. Yeah. So gotcha. It just ties below the RV or by the RV. Correct. Yep. Right above the RV breaker. Yep. Exactly. And then this outlet is GFCI protected. Just resets itself. But it's an interior grade outlet, so I would change it to an exterior grade outlet, so that way, you know, directional rain's going to pop in. Especially the TV is only going to, you know, hide so much of the rain, but definitely just needs to be covered. That's all.
Okay.
And then I don't know how I turned the lights on. I think they were on when I got here, but I don't know how to turn them off.
No.
So they might be on. It looks like they're on some type of a timer.
Okay.
That may be okay. That makes sense. So there's that.
Okay.
All right, and then hose bib. There's just another shut off there, but that goes to this valve box down here. Otherwise, everything is good there. Nothing. There's just some paint and stuff in that shed, so nothing's really going on there. And then this shed just has just some random like vacuum hoses they left.
Sure.
So those are really nice sheds.
Yeah, they are, and
They
they convey, so that's good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Perfect. So yeah, that's everything here. Now let's head back inside.
That would almost be cool, like a little bar thing or a pass-through window, you know?
Yeah.
I guess you can't do it if the couch is there, but...
We just gotta move the couch, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, all the warranty stuff you were talking about.
Yeah, I opened that up and I saw all those, here's all these guides, you know? So, there's some...
And then it's a Nest.
Google.
Yeah, it's a Google Nest.
Okay.
It's just a different style. Yeah. All right.
So that will stay there.
Yep. Now, after the exterior, I started the dishwasher. I ran the dishwasher through a full cycle. Clean and dry, no signs of any leaks or anything. So everything's good there. Disposal is in good shape as well. No signs of leaks at the disposal. RO system. So the big tank in the back is a bladder. The filters up top are what the water comes in through filters and then fills into the bladder. And then it dispenses out here on the top.
Okay.
So if you're going on a hike or something, you're filling big water bottles, and it starts to slow down or trickle out.
Yeah.
Just let it refill, and then just turn it back on,
Okay.
because that just means that the bladder's emptying, and it just needs to refill itself with clean water. So, but it's for drinking water, so it's a cool little system.
Yeah.
Hot and cold are in the correct position. Faucet secured to the counter, so no leaks or anything going on there. So everything is good. Your outlets are GFCI protected.
Nice.
When this house was built, it wasn't required to do the kitchen, so they updated when they did the remodel. So this one just resets itself, and this one resets itself as well. So they're just dependent of each other. And then oven is operational. Warmer at the bottom. The warming drawer is operational as well. All 4 burners are working, so everything's good there. So one thing I did want to mention.
Yeah.
So when I was on the roof, there is an exhaust hood. Or there is an exhaust location for here, but for whatever reason when they did the remodel, they covered it. So I do recommend to re-add a hood, so they can exhaust steam and smoke and stuff like it's supposed to. Yeah.
But then they have a plug right there.
Right. So there was one there before, and when they did the remodel, for whatever reason they covered it up because they wanted it open. But technically, it's supposed to have one, so I just have to recommend to add one because. The last thing you want to do in the summer is have to have the window open when you're cooking.
Right.
Because it's not always that cold out. So just a heads up.
Yeah.
And especially because if they do that, there's already power there. So it's just a matter of just piping it in.
Popping it in.
Yep, because there's already ducting there. So there's not it takes a lot of labor out just cutting drywall and adding ducting. That's all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They just didn't want it hanging right there, I guess.
Yeah. And it might have not matched their aesthetic or something, but just find something that we can just have so it exhausts correctly. All right, now, fridge, 40 degrees, 30 degrees. And this was on a bit of a higher temperature setting, but I just turned it down, but it was at like 18, 20 when I tested it, so it is cooling. The only thing is it's making water, but it wasn't making any ice. Let's see if it made it around actually. This is what I chipped off of it because it was like frozen on there. But it's not making any ice, so eventually I would just have like an appliance guy come look at it and see what's going on.
Give it a tune-up.
Yeah, give it a little bit of a tune-up. Yeah, I was going to use that so no one slips on them. All right. And then as well, so that's everything here. Drawers and cabinets were all tested, so everything is good there. And then, ceiling fan and light are working. All good. All right, now after the kitchen, I started at the front door and I worked my way through the house. I checked all the outlets, the switches, the lights, the fans, the doors, and the windows. Front screen door is in good shape. It's just, again, this is something you could ignore, but in the report, it's just going to talk about how there's a deadbolt here. So it has a key deadbolt. So if you need to, get out in an emergency and you don't have the key, you're kind of stuck. So I would just change this side to a thumb bolt like this. But you don't have to do that. Some people like to keep that, especially because riffraff jumps the fence and they cut through it, they can unlock it. But it's just one of those things where some people, like I said, you can ignore it, but it's just
well, that must be why they have this note saying do not lock security door.
Exactly, yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then see, like this is a thumb bolt, so that locks in place. So everything is good there. The main panel door closes and latches. The fixed panel door just locks at the top, but it doesn't lock at the bottom. Okay. It's because the latch hole isn't really matching up with this lock bolt. Okay. So in the report, it just says I couldn't get the bottom fixture to lock. But it is latching at the top. It's just not at the top, or not at the bottom, so it's a little wobbly. Now, pocket door.
Oh, I didn't even notice that before.
Super smooth, super nice. So it works really well, which is good. Pass-through light here, and then laundry room's on a motion sensor as well.
I thought so.
And it has an exhaust vent, exits to the exterior. I located the dryer vent as well on the roof. It's a little bit linted up, so I would just do a once over. If you have the chimney sweep out, you can clean this out too. So 120 is live for the dryer, 110 is live for the washer. Valves are in good shape, so no issues there, no leaks. Now, water heater's here. It's 6 years old, so it's a 2017 model 40-gallon electric. So the only thing I do recommend is to add a drain pan eventually, but I wouldn't add it now. Yeah. It's more expensive to do it now. Just wait till you get a new one and get it then. But just make sure we keep an eye on it to monitor for leaks. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's the only thing I'd recommend. Other than that, but it's making super hot water everywhere. All good.
Yeah, nice.
And then garage door is fire rated and self-closing. So it'll just latch.
Unlike the other house. Oh.
Why isn't it on actually? Oh, because the deadbolt's kind of open. So there we go. Okay. Whew, I was about to say, did I miss that?
Jeez.
You have two outlets here. They're both wired correctly. Everything is good there. I'm not sure why they have those there. It's just they might have just wanted extra stuff. They might have had some type of like lighting or something there. But yeah, that's what they're working. And then this one is as well.
Okay.
All right, cutting back through the dining room. Outlets in here all wired correctly. The windows are newer, so in the report it says that they're just difficult to operate, but it's because the weather stripping is really thick on them, so they need to be broken in. So they just need to be open and closed a bunch. But it's nice that they're tight because it means that they're gonna keep
sealed.
Water out. Yeah, they're sealed tight, so you're gonna keep moisture out, they're gonna keep noise out, which is super nice. So everything is good there. Then cutting back through, cabinets and drawers, we already talked about that.
So is every window in the house new, or just these two especially? Really? Oh, nice.
Including this back door.
Nice.
So it's a dual pane window with it has the blinds on the interior.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah. So just the one thing I wanted to let you guys know is just be very gentle with these when you work on them, because if you're rough with them, what'll happen is they'll just get stuck and then they won't work anymore. So just be very gentle with them. This is to turn them on and off, or turn them up and down, close them, and then as you go downward, it lifts them up, and then go back up. Nice. It'll pull them back down. But just be really gentle with them because they can be finicky. They're very sensitive.
Yeah, I could see you just like doing it too fast, and it just gets.
Yeah, that's what my son did, and then it was a whole thing. It took forever to fix it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but outlets in here all wired correctly. This is tied to the doorbell. Those are detachable ones on the front door. So ding dongs in here. Okay. Ceiling fans and lights are working. The light bulbs, they might be just dying, or they're a very low wattage. Sure. So if we want to get a bigger watt, untwist it, add new bulbs. Okay. That's all. Outlets are all wired correctly. Window here. Blackout curtains, which are really nice. Those are expensive ones too, but look at, they just hit the button, and they come down, and then hit the button again. With no resistance, they'll just pull back up.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, super nice. All right. Cool. Fireplace is, everything's good. Like I said, they just have these faux logs in there to make it look like it's usually you see those in like gas fireplaces.
Sure,
but yeah, they just have them here to make it look nice. But yeah, definitely chimney sweep would be a good idea. And then,
okay.
But yeah, everything's good. Ceiling fan and light are working. Come back through. All right. You still recording?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Ready?
Yeah.
Google Nest thermostat. We have it off right now. Turn it on. Touch the side. Just a tap. And then roll your finger to rotate wherever you need to go. So you're gonna go here to modes, tap, and then select whatever you want to. You're probably gonna do auto, tap, and then just set it wherever you want to set it. Right now, that's a little too cold. So here you go, tap to change. We're gonna turn it up. Just rotate it like you would an old school dial. So 64, heat's fine, cooled to 74, so that way it's not running. But just like that, that's how it works. You don't touch anything here, everything's just on this little rotator right here.
On the side.
Yep, just tap, tap,
okay.
And you're good to go.
Okay.
All right. And
Too
then
fancy for me, but.
Master bedroom door, opens and closes and latches, cabinets. Are in good shape. Lots of cabinet space.
Nice.
And then this is it goes all the way through.
Yeah.
So faucet's in good shape. Doors are good. I would add maybe a little bit of grease to this track here. It's just a little rough.
Okay.
It's just a little rough. The wheel's just getting stuck a little bit. Now in the bedroom, sliding door, opens and closes and locks. Again, this is a newer one as well. So this was changed when they changed the rest of them. Light for the rear patio, right there. And then they're just using a stick here. You know,
Good old
people
stick.
like using sticks.
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
And then outlets are all wired correctly. Ceiling fan and light are working, so everything's good. Now we're gonna cut back through to the master bathroom. Here's that reset right here. So this does all the exterior and the garage. So see, look at, super sensitive. Just if you just graze it, it'll trip, which is not a defect. It's just they're just really nice, newer.
Someone probably just messed with it and went, "What is this?"
Exactly. Yeah. This one just resets itself. They added this one. So again, trips and resets itself, just like that. Hot and cold in the correct position of the faucet. No drain leaks or anything here. So everything is good. Remodeled shower. As you can see, I turned the shower head because I wanted to run water against the surround so I can make sure it was sealed up nice and tight. No leaks or anything. Hot and cold in the correct position. No slow drains. So all good.
Nice.
And then as well, this outlet resets there as well, so same one. And then no drain leaks, hot and cold in the correct position. Another pocket door, works fantastic. I didn't test the bidet, so they'll have to test it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a bidet. I don't think it's plugged in.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't mess with it.
Okay.
And then as well, toilet secured to the floor, exhaust vent exits on the roof, so everything is good there. All right. Fall bathroom. All right. Hot and cold correct position. This outlet also resets in that same location. So they all reset on that one circuit.
Okay.
And then hot and cold correct position, no drain leaks. Toilet secured to the floor, no leaks there. Hot and cold in the correct position at the shower, no shower head leaks. They just, the tub stop's been removed, so they're using this little silicone cover to fill up the tub if they ever wanted to. So that's that there. Door opens and closes with no issues there. Same thing here, door opens and closes and latches. Outlets are all wired correctly. Closet doors, bypass guides installed. Doors on all three panels, open and close. Slide around with no issues. Ceiling fan is working. Window does open and close. Again, they're so new, they're just difficult to operate. So yeah, just let's clean them out. Let's start there. Maybe put a little grease on them. Just break them in a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, those leaves don't help.
Yeah, they do not.
The tree is really starting to blow my nerves.
Yeah, right. Take it easy.
Kidding.
Take it easy.
I know. I'm like, "Rrr, get rid of trees."
This is your main return. So this is where you'll change your filters. It is pretty dirty right now, so I would recommend.
Yeah.
The filter itself in there is dirty as well, so I recommend change the filter out. Maybe clean off the grate.
Sure.
It's on a hinge, so if you pull it down and then pull it to the left, you can take it off and spray it down. But I definitely want to get that clean.
Sure.
Smoke detectors are 11 years old. They become less effective after 10 years. It's hardwired, so you can just plug it in if you want, or you can just bracket it in if you want to. They're running it off a battery, but I would just update them because they're older.
Sure.
All right, fixed panel door, latches in place. Main panel door closes on top, so no issues there. Nice and smooth. They removed the bypass guide here, so this door, as you can see, is still there. They just removed the guide, so we just need to get a new one on there, so that way it doesn't swing like that.
Sure.
Ceiling fan and light are working. All the outlets were wired correctly. Window, same thing as before, so I won't have to repeat it. Just let's clean it out. Let's start there.
Yep.
And then I love these.
Yeah, those are
They're
nice
really good
shutters.
shape. Yeah, and then outlet's good there. That takes us back to the front door, and that is it. So all in all, pretty good shape.
Okay, awesome.
Just minor things here and there. Let's figure out what's going on with the rear patio. Ceiling fans, not a huge deal, but the roof, let's get that resealed, and then just service the AC, so that way we can keep it going.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that thing cranks cold. It's cold in here. I'm actually still having a chill to it.
See, it's holding itself. So yeah, it's staying nice and insulated. The windows help with that too. So all in all, there's a lot of really good things here. There's a lot of really nice updates. So
good.
this is a good find. This is a really good find.
Oh yay! Well, that was Emma. Emma found it. So.